Alright, now we find a place along the water's edge that we want to work, and this looks pretty good here. Here's a place where some roots are growing right alongside the edge of the water, so we set our gold pan down there, and we put our classifier on top of the pan, and now we'll dig in this little area right underneath these roots, right here, right up against them, because very likely these roots captured small bits of gold during the flood stage of this river during the winter. So that's a natural trap and a good place that you'll want to look, right underneath the roots. Excellent location, and there's some pretty good alluvial sand and gravel right underneath it. So let's put enough material in our classifier to fill our gold pan about 3/4 full. We don't want to go any fuller than that. Okay, a couple of more shovelfuls, and I think we'll have enough material to fill our pan 3/4 full. Now let's see how this works out. Now, we take our gold pan with the classifier and we set it in the water. In order to classify the material, we'll run the sand and small bits of gravel into our pan. Now here's what we got left over. Now obviously, there's no pieces of gold in there. However, you want to check it and make sure that there isn't a large nugget. Because if you had a nugget that size, it would not go through the classifier and you would throw it away. Now, at this point, this is where you'd want to put the 2 BBs in your pan to test your technique. So let's take 2 BBs out and let's drop them in the pan. Then we put the BBs away. Now we take the pan, and the first thing you want to do is take both hands and mix the material up very carefully. Being careful, of course, not to spill any material over the side of the pan. Now, this does 2 things for you. This gets the gold and the heavy material right down at the bottom of the pan, including the BBs. So after you've got it mixed up, then you can take your hands and with the front part of the pan facing away from you, the riffles, now you start your panning action. And it's easy to tell with this pan because it has a hole right here. You can just put this hole toward your stomach. So now we mix up the material and we start our panning action. Now you do it just about like this, and you pan from the shoulders down. You don't do it this way, you don't do it this way, you don't do it this way. You do it in a circular motion, sort of egg-shaped, so that the point of the egg is forward, and every time you move the pan to the forward position, you got material coming out over the edge of the pan. See, like this? Every time I go forward. All right, now it's caked up on me, so now I take my hand and I mix it up. You keep at least 1 inch of material over your material, each inch of water over your material at all times. And as you progress, you move the back of the pan out of the water, like this. Also, as you progress, your circular motion gets smaller, so that you don't continue going like this for the whole time. All right, now let me start over again and I'll show you how to properly do it without stopping. We set up our circular motion, moving our pan from the arms down, keeping 1 inch of water over the material at all times until we have it down to where there's just about that much material, no more, no less. All right, now you can see the BBs right here, the 2 BBs right here in that first trap. That's as far as they went, right there. Okay, now the next step is to wash the gold and the BBs out of the traps. You do it this way, of course being careful not to splash too much water on it, because if you do, that'll wash the gold right over the side. And the next thing we want to do is get rid of that black sand in there. Now this sand is actually small bits of iron. It's magnetic. First, we take the Gold Saver solution. We put 2 drops of Gold Saver in it. 2 drops is all we need. Now this is a wetting agent. it breaks the surface tension of the water and keeps the gold in place. Then the next thing we're going to do is take our black sand magnet, and we're going to remove the black magnetic sand that's in the bottom of the pan. See the black sand? All right, that's heavy material. It's pure iron, and it's very difficult to do the final stages of the panning technique when you have all this heavy material in the bottom of your pan. Now we take our pan and we can reverse it. We're going to put the hole down and the riffles up, holding it at the 6 o'clock position. Now I'm going to strike it at the side of the pan at the 9 o'clock position. And what I'm doing now is I'm concentrating the gold right at the very bottom of the pan, so that it's going to be much easier when I go through my final stage. I know the gold is going to be right there at that location, right underneath my finger. And that's the only place I'm going to look. All right, now we're going to back pan. The back pan, we're going to look into our pan just like it's a mirror. We hold the pan up over our shoulders so the sun can shine into it, and we start very gradually and very coordinated, swirling the water so that the very top of the water just washes away the material at the top of the pan. And if we do it just right, you will see very quickly whether or not you have gold. All right, can anybody see that little piece of gold that's sticking to the bottom of the pan? Eureka, we found gold. Look, right here. Right at that little point right there. See? See the gold is sticking at the bottom of the pan? It has a tendency to stay right there all by itself. Okay, now that proves that we've found a good spot. So now we can come in and set up our equipment. We can set up our sluice box or a wet washer or whatever, or we can just continue to pan.